know, I won't be stubborn and will do my best. Xianxia grinned and smiled. Then let's separate here. When this matter is over, I will see you in Green Water City and leave first. Xianxia arched his hands slightly, and after speaking, he turned around, turned into a stream of light, and quickly disappeared from the eyes of Qiantong. Three people. Let's go, too. Qiantong greeted. With so many people dead this time, the competition in the blood prison may be reduced a lot. It is a good time to look for opportunities, and we can't miss it. Brother Qian is right. Zhao Tianzi's eyes lit up, and his gloomy mood was wiped out, becoming excited and looking forward to it. Somewhere 100 miles away from Domain Stone Mountain, where it was deserted, Xianxia looked around for a while, and after making sure that there was no one around him, he suddenly grinned. Come out. At the next moment, there was a rustling movement on the ground in front of him. Then, a small head came out from it, and two mung bean-like eyeballs slid around. His body shot up, and rushed to Xianxia. Stone puppet Xiao. Xianxia secretly released the stone puppet while fighting with Zhang Qing and others. At that time, everyone was shocked by his strength, and no trace of the stone puppet was found. All this go unnoticed. How is the harvest? Xianxia asked, looking down at the stone puppet. The stone puppet didn't react too much, just opened his mouth and spit out a fist-sized domain stone from his mouth. Xianxia stretched out his hand and grabbed the domain stone in his hand. He felt it for a moment. He laughed and patted the small head of stone puppet, and praised, good job. He could imagine that the stone puppet belly is now full with domain stone. The number is so huge that any Void King realm will be moved. It can be said that the destruction of Domain Stone Mountain is entirely because of it. It sneaked in from below without a trace, and emptied the entire Domain Stone Mountain without anyone noticing it. That's why those cultivators will feel that the Domain Stone Mountain's effect is getting weaker. That's why Domain Stone Mountain suddenly collapsed, and the interior was hollow. All this is the credit of the stone puppet. Domain Stone Mountain is indeed hard enough, but Stone Puppets has natural talent and capable of devouring all kinds of minerals. Even Thousand Imagery Colored Glass Mountain, Colored Glass Sect's highest treasure, is not out by it. Naturally, the Domain Stone Mountain is not a problem. The first time he saw Domain Stone Mountain, Xianxia had a crooked thought. He did not expect that letting the stone puppet do this would destroy Domain Stone Mountain, and then triggered that terrifying domain. So when he noticed something was wrong, he shouted loudly and warned people about it. It is a pity that most cultivators were blinded by the immediate benefits, and did not pay attention to his warning. Only a few people retreated with him in the first place, thus saving their lives. An order was given to the stone puppet. Xianxia took it to a more remote location, letting it spit out all the domain stones in its stomach. After counting, Xianxia was overjoyed. 2,000 or 3,000 domain stones. This is an extremely terrifying number. It can be seen from Xianxia's gains since entering the blood prison. He has only obtained 3 domain stones until now. Others may not gain more than him, and maybe less. But at the moment, this one is worth 2,000 to 3,000. Perhaps. From ancient times to the present, the total number of domain stones obtained by cultivators who walked out of the blood prison has not been so much. It seems that there is no need to worry about the domain in the future. With so many domain stones in hand, Xianxia can unscrupulously absorb the magical energy in it, gain insight into the domain, and explore the essence of the Void King realm. His future must be bright and smooth. He is in a great mood. The cultivator who entered the blood prison main purpose is to use those domain vortices to refine their own chi, while the secondary purpose is naturally to find domain stones. Xianxia realized that these two goals had been achieved by him. Not to mention the domain stone, the amount obtained is enough. Those domain vortices can't stop his pace of exploration now. His understanding and application of chi potential has reached a new height. Even if he has not reached the realm of big accomplishment, it is not far away. Perhaps one day, when he is promoted to the third order void return stage, his chi potential will achieve big accomplishment, and he will have the capital to break through the Void King realm. Yongkai is not going to waste any more time. He was going to find the void mind crystal left by the Monster King who died in the battle here tens of thousands of years ago, and complete the task that Chui gave him. There are 10 great lords on Monster Emperor Star, but no one is qualified to be called the Monster King. If you want to become the Monster King, you must have the top cultivation level of the Third Order Void King realm. Since ancient times, there have been very few Monster Kings born on Monster Emperor Star. There was one tens of thousands of years ago, but it was a pity that he was involved in the dispute of Green Hills Star at that time, and finally fell in the blood prison. Caillou had already told Yongkai about the specific location. After all, for so many years Monster Emperor Star had also secretly sent a lot of rookies from the monster race to the blood prison smelting trial. They had already inquired about the situation, but it was a pity that they couldn't succeed. Yongkai went all the way forward without delaying anything. He don't know if it was because of the changes in Domain Stone Mountain and so many people died, but Yongkai always felt that the number of cultivators in the blood prison had indeed decreased a lot. After walking forward for a few days, he didn't notice any vitality anymore, and there was no one around him. There is a bare hill in front of him, no more than 100 meters high. There is no grass on the hill, only gravel and mud. But the hill exudes an extremely strange aura, which is discouraging. Monster Chi. And it is a very powerful Monster Chi. Even the cultivator of Third Order Void Return stage would not dare to easily set foot on this hill, because the omnipresent Monster Chi is not something they can bear. Once they stay in it for a long time, they will inevitably be invaded by the Monster Chi. That is the Monster Chi of a powerful Monster King, and it cannot be resolved by the Third Order Void Return stage at all. Eventually, they will only be eroded by the Monster Chi, or be demonized, are lost in flames and die. Therefore, in the blood prison, this strange hill has always been regarded as a forbidden place. No one dares to enter it will, occasionally passing by, but also far away, so as not to be affected by the Monster Chi. It should be here. Yongkai looked at the bare hill and muttered to himself. The hill in front of him was the same as the information given by Caillou, and it was the place where the Monster King fell. After watching for a while, Yongkai stepped forward and walked straight towards the hill. After a short while, he came to the foot of the hill. As soon as he stepped in, the omnipresent Monster Chi was like a cat smelling the fishy fish smell, pounced towards Yongkai from all directions, and drilled inward along his pores, rushing into the meridians. Yongkai encouraged Saint Yuan to resist the invasion of these Monster Chi. A bit hard. It is indeed worthy of the Monster Chi left by the powerhouse of the Monster King after they fall. Even if it has existed here for tens of thousands of years, it cannot be easily resisted. Fortunately, Yongkai bears the origin power of the Golden Holy Dragon, so even if the Monster Chi is forced into the body, it will not affect him too much. If it was any other Void Return stage, they will have to withdraw immediately. After confirming that there was nothing serious, Yongkai walked upwards step by step. Soon, he came to the top of the mountain and looked around. The surroundings were empty and there was nothing, which made him frown. The information Caillou gave him only stated that the Void Mind Crystal was in this barren mountain, but she didn't know exactly where it was. If it's not on the top of the mountain, then it may be somewhere else. Yongkai silently sensed it for a while, and he was already thinking about it in his heart. He looked in one direction and went there. After a stick of incense time, Yongkai came to the back of the hill, stood in front of a dark cave, and looked inside. The cave was dark and dull, and nothing could be seen, so the spiritual mind penetrated in and was also bounced back. However, if he guessed correctly, the powerhouse of the Monster King level should have fallen in this cave because the Monster Chi inside is the most intense. He was not afraid of anything, took out a luminous stone from the space ring, pinched it in his hand, and stepped inside. The more he go in, the stronger the Monster Chi. The deepest part seems to be the source of the Monster Chi. After a while, Yongkai finally reached the innermost level of the cave. This cave seems to be excavated by man artificially. It is narrow on the outside and wide on the inside. The innermost layer of the cave is actually a cave covering an area of several tens of meters. Somewhere in the cave there seemed to be some huge object, and an astonishing monster chi was spreading from there. Xianxia took out more luminous stones, flexed his fingers continuously, and ejected them all around, inlaid into the gaps in the surrounding stone walls. In the blink of an eye, the entire dim cave became bright and bright. Looking forward again, Xianxia's eyes narrowed, his eyes showing shock. He surprisingly discovered that the huge object lying in front of him was nothing but a bone. A huge monster beast bone. It was about 20 feet long, and it looked like an ancient giant crocodile. Even if it was just a bone, it exuded an amazing aura. This corpse should be the main body of the powerhouse of the Monster King level. It seems that he came from the incarnation of a monster beast, otherwise the body would not be exposed after death. Generally, the monster race is born in human form, and after death, it is also in human form. But they can practice some secret techniques to stimulate the bloodline of the monster beast in the body and stimulate the potential of the monster beast in the blood to fight. Such a monster beast body after death must be a powerful monster beast incarnation. This is the most orthodox monster race, and the bloodline is extremely pure. And it's the bones of the monster beasts of the Third Order Void King realm. Even after tens of thousands of years, its bones are still lifelike. Each bone looks unusually strong, and it is absolutely the best material for item refining. Xianxia's eyes were fiery. Caillou only said that he would give the Void Mind Crystal to Yushang, but she didn't say that he would also hand over the bones of the Monster King. He could take the bones as his own. The High Heaven sect is now under development, and there are also highly accomplished item refiners in the sect. They are from Star Emperor Mountain. Although they cannot be compared with Yongyan, they are second to none on Shadowed Star. If these bones are taken back for them to refine, Xianxia believes that they can definitely refine a large number of void-grade high-rank artifacts. It's just that the things are a bit violent. According to the truth, the bones of the Void King stage monster beast are precious materials that can refine the Void King grade artifact. To be continued.